Xiaomi is making a bold move. Not just a new smartphone, not just another chipset, but a full-blown breakup with Qualcomm and MediaTek. That's right, Xiaomi is rumored to be developing the XRING 02, a second-generation custom chip that could completely cut ties with the two biggest names in mobile silicon. But here's the twist. Xiaomi isn't stopping at just building a new processor. They're also reportedly creating their first in-house 5G modem. This could be the moment Xiaomi transforms into a true chip powerhouse, like Apple or Samsung. Let's break it all down. Back in June, Xiaomi filed a trademark for something called XRING 02. This confirms that the Chinese tech company is speeding ahead to follow up its first-gen custom chip, the XRING 01. But why is this important? Because XRING 01 wasn't a full chip in the traditional sense. It still relied on an external 5G modem, the MediaTek T800. That meant more space taken up on the motherboard, more power usage, and less control over the overall performance. With XRING 02, Xiaomi reportedly wants to integrate its own 5G modem directly into the chip, just like Apple does with their M-series silicon. This could be a game changer. Let's get real. Building a 5G modem is extremely hard. It's not just about connecting to a signal, it's about handling network switching, dealing with low latency real-time communication, and managing global 5G bands and standards. Apple learned this the hard way. Despite its massive budget, it took years for Apple to develop its C1 modem, and it still isn't perfect. So why is Xiaomi doing this? More control. They don't want to rely on US-linked suppliers like Qualcomm. More efficiency. Integrated modems save space and power. Cost savings. Over time, building your own chips is cheaper than licensing from someone else. And finally, cross-platform use. A modem that works in phones, tablets, and even cars is incredibly valuable. And don't forget, Xiaomi has already proven that it can do a lot with less. It built an EV division with just 1/10 of what Apple spent on its failed car project. This brings us to the next big question. What manufacturing process will Xiaomi use for the XRING 02? Right now, no official lithography details are available. But here's the rumor. If US export controls loosen even slightly, Xiaomi could have access to TSMC's advanced 2nm process. That would be huge. 2nm silicon isn't just smaller, it's more efficient and more powerful. That means better performance, longer battery life, and better thermal management in smartphones. In fact, if Xiaomi nails this design, the XRING 02 could rival or even beat the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 or Dimensity 9400, especially with full-stack control over the modem and SoC. And here's where it gets really exciting. The XRING 02 isn't just being made for phones. It's reportedly being designed for tablets and even automobiles. That means it needs to pass automotive-grade safety and stability tests, which could take longer, but also shows just how ambitious Xiaomi's roadmap really is. This isn't just about performance. This is strategic survival.
With rising geopolitical tensions, Chinese companies are under pressure to cut their dependence on US-linked suppliers. Huawei was hit hard by sanctions, and Xiaomi doesn't want to be next. By developing its own SoCs and modems, Xiaomi is building a resilient supply chain, one that gives them more independence from US sanctions and trade restrictions. It's a risky path, but it also opens the door for long-term dominance. Apple did it. Samsung did it. Now Xiaomi wants to join that elite club. And if they pull it off, they'll have their own CPU, their own GPU, their own 5G modem, possibly even their own NPU and AI engines. That's everything you need to power not just phones, but an entire ecosystem. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is very hard. Building a chip is difficult, but building a 5G modem from scratch, that's on a whole other level. It involves radio frequency design, software stack integration, carrier certification, power optimization, and most importantly, network compatibility across the globe. Even Apple failed to launch its modem on time, despite buying Intel's modem division for $1 billion. So, can Xiaomi really do this? Maybe, but the timeline won't be fast. Expect the XRING 02 to take longer to reach the market, especially if it's being tuned for cars and tablets as well as phones. Then there's the US trade issue. If sanctions get tighter again, Xiaomi might be locked out of TSMC's 2nm node and have to fall back on older, less efficient processes from Chinese fabs like SMIC. That could compromise performance. The XRING 02 isn't just another chip, it's a statement. It shows that Xiaomi wants to own its future, not rent it from Qualcomm or MediaTek. If successful, this could signal a new era, one where more smartphone makers build their own silicon, from the modem to the CPU. And with integration comes efficiency. With efficiency comes power. And with power comes freedom. Xiaomi's bold step may take time, but when it lands, the mobile industry might never look the same again.